Peace and blessings, everyone. This is your girl, Queen of Pentacles 1111, and I am back with another pick a card reading. This one is a message from your spirit guides letting you know just how you empower others. And you know I love some empowerment on this channel. If you're interested, please keep watching. Peace and blessings, everyone. Thank you for joining me. For those of you who chose pile number 1, you chose this beautiful black tourmaline here, which I absolutely love. The topic today is a message from your spirit guide, letting you know how you not only empower others right now, but how you can empower others in the future. On this channel, I chose to make this channel because I'm all about self-empowerment and self-love, but I'm also about paying it forward as well. I'm also about each one teach one. You know, we can all teach somebody something. We can all help somebody with something. We're all an expert in some field or another in our lives, whether we realize it or not. So in this reading today, you're just going to find out a little bit more about where you excel in life, how you empower others, and how you can further empower others in the future. All right, let's get down to it. Let's start with the tarot. Okay, so here we go. The first tarot card you have here is the King of Earth, otherwise known as the King of Pentacles. The second one is the Ace of Water, also known as the Ace of Cups. And the last one is the Page of Air, also known as the Page of Swords. Okay, guys, so right off the bat, what I'm getting is how you can empower others, or how you do empower others, whether you are aware of it or not, is through self-confidence. I feel like you are this King of Pentacles. If you're not there right now, that is where you will end up eventually. And I feel like you inspire others. It's that self-confidence, that self-assuredness. The King of Earth, the King of Pentacles, is about abundance and wealth and just kind of looking like someone who has it all, you know? And even if you don't feel like you have it all, other people probably look at you as though you do have it all. Even if you don't have all the money in the world, even if you don't have a big fancy car, you are a prime example of the fact that you can still have it all even if you're not a millionaire, you know? And you're just getting better and better as time goes on. I believe that you give people a voice, and you encourage people to use their voice as well. You seem like somebody who likes to stand up for yourself and stand up for others as well. So not only do you stand up, like through standing up for yourself, you encourage people to stand up for themselves as well. So whether you realize it or not, which a lot of us don't realize a lot of these wonderful qualities that we have that are super empowering to those around us, you know, because sometimes we don't hear it. People don't usually come up to you and say, oh, you're so empowering. You're such an example to me. You know, sometimes people don't do that. Sometimes they do, which is amazing. But for the most part, people just watch you. They just watch you and they get some energy off your vibes, which can be a good thing, right? It doesn't always have to be a negative thing. We're not talking about energy vampires or anything. We're just talking about people who see you, they love your vibe, and they get the energy. It becomes contagious. So you are somebody who has this confidence. You have a confidence in your abilities. So you are a creative person, and if you set your mind to do something, then you will do it. I think sometimes people just sit back and watch you, and maybe they even doubt you, maybe doubt your abilities, but then you show them that hey, don't doubt me because I'm gonna do this. You don't seem like somebody who brags. You don't seem like you're somebody who's full of yourself. You just have an air of confidence and someone who kind of demands or commands respect without telling people, hey, you better respect me. You seem like somebody who has a quiet confidence, but who also, as we can see from the Ace of Water, can be very like nurturing and gentle as well. So you're like the perfect balance of somebody who's confident and self-assured and powerful and all of those things. And then but you also have this other side that when people actually get to know you, they see how soft and how kind and how down to earth you really are. So you seem like a really well-rounded person who gives people the confidence to be that way as well. And it's nothing you have to go to school for. You didn't take any classes in it. It's just actually who you are. We all inspire people in different ways. And this is your way. It's your self-confidence. It's your je ne sais quoi that you have. People see you and they think, wow, this person looks like they have it all together. And sometimes they can't even figure out why they feel like you have it all together. But there's just something about you. And when you speak up for yourself, when you speak in a crowd, you have that kind of presence to you that people aspire to be like that as well. Most of the time, we're too humble to actually admit that, or too hard on ourselves to actually see how powerful we are and the influence that we have on others. But if you look back into your interactions with people, you might get a clue that people are very inspired by you, and you do encourage people to use their voice for good, to stand up for themselves and to stand up for others. And if, because you are this King of Pentacles, or you have this energy, I feel like it's something you could take further. So you could do something like being a public speaker, or an author, someone who writes like self-help books. I could see you being a blogger. So I feel like you're very creative, but at the same time, very down to earth. So like I said, very balanced, very, very balanced, and like inspiring, creative, balanced, confident, very wealthy, abundant. And when I say wealth, doesn't have to be money. Okay, you can be wealthy in your spirit, the kind of spirit you have. You could, be a generous person. I think you're all of those things, and people see you and they just get inspired by you. Okay, let's check this. Let's check the oracle cards and see what they say. Let's get some validation going on. All right, so this card we have here, it's kind of shiny. This one is dry desert. So like, I don't know if you know or not, but I like to look at numbers on cards. I like to look at symbols. I think that okay, so we know 31 equals a 4, right? So that not usually, but that can speak to stability. I think of like a square. I think of 4 corners of a table, a house, something that makes something very stable. I think you are representative of that. And as you can see, this young woman, or this woman, is in the desert alone, and she's looking into the distance. Into the distance, what's there? A cactus. If you're in a desert, some cacti have water in them. So you can be that kind of beacon of hope for a lot of people, where they're going through maybe a dry spell where they feel like they're not creative. There's no one around them that inspires them. There's nothing to look to. It's just like they feel like they're there by themselves with nobody or anyone to aspire to. You are that beacon. You are the cactus in this picture. You are the one that gives them hope and something to, work towards. So it gives them a sense of purpose and helps them not only, better themselves, but in turn they end up bettering others through bettering themselves. We have this one, Wizard of Awareness. We have number 3, speaks of creation. We talk about creativity. I feel like these two guys are the same. These look like the same guys in a sense. And it's from 2 totally different decks. But I feel like, you know, with that gray beard and the gray hair symbolizing a lot of wisdom, whether you're an older person or a younger person, you are a very wise person. And it's just like, I feel like this person looks like they've lived a couple of lifetimes. So they have a lot of wisdom to share. His staff here is illuminated. So, you know, people can find this beacon for miles and miles. And I think you have that kind of way about you where people are drawn to you, kind of like this cactus. They're drawn to you. And half the time they don't even realize why they're drawn to you. But when they do meet you, when they do speak to you, when they do tap into that energy, then they realize, okay, yeah, this is why. This is why I got to know this person. If they're spiritually inclined as well, they'll understand that they met you for a reason. And if they're not spiritually inclined, after they leave you, they will be spiritually inclined, because I do believe that you are somebody who has tapped into your spirituality, to that kind of energy. I feel like you're a very fluid person, but you could also be very orderly as well. I also feel like you're not a pushover, but you know how to be nurturing as well. So people recognize that balance. You know, everybody is drawn towards people who are like that. You're not erratic. You're cool, but you know that people understand very quickly that you're not going to take any nonsense. All right. So the next one we have here is Field of Dreams. So once again, we have another 3. So you are somebody who inspires the creativity, and not only the creativity in others, but you inspire them to believe that, yes, they can do it. They see you, they see that you achieve most of whatever it is you want, and you have no fear about achieving it, or you figure it's like worth a try. Even if you are afraid of whether or not you're going to succeed, you still give it a try, and people see that, and it inspires them to do the same. They see you and they understand that even if you try something and you fail, you never see it as a loss. You never get down about it. Well, maybe sometimes, I shouldn't say never. Most of the time, it's not in your nature to let it get you down. You see it as a learning experience, not something to make you lose your motivation and make you get down on yourself. Another thing I can't help but notice, honestly, are these orbs that we have here. We have this one here. Well, it's a moon, but it's really like an orb. And we have this one here. We have circles, you know, like, ooh, check this out. On here, can you see this swirl? This copper swirl. And right here we have the same type of swirls. And behind him is a big circle. All right, so we'll deal with the circles first. So the concept of like a full moon or an orb, it has to do with like somebody who is illuminated, like completely illuminated. So somebody who's like wise. It represents completion, the height of your power, like the realization of your desires, the peak of your clarity. So like Field of Dreams and a Wizard of Awareness. The reason they have these orbs and these circles behind them is to show that they've come to a certain understanding. And I don't like saying completion, because then that gives a sense like you're saying the person is perfect and they've arrived. Like, nobody's perfect, and we've not, you know, once you're done working, once you stop bettering yourself, you're basically dead. So you always want to be bettering yourself, but you're on the right path, and you're very close to achieving whatever it is you want to achieve in life. And it's like, it's a sign, this circle, it's a sign to like take note of the progress you've made and reflect on how far you've come in life. It also suggests like a circle of life, some kind of cycle. So it's like, you know, you started as a babe and you didn't know quite that much, and as you've gotten older, you've gotten more wise, and you pass all of that along to other people as well. I also see here a crescent shape, which reminds me of intuition, and makes me think that you are a well-rounded person, because not only are you a person of the earth, meaning like you've kind of mastered those type of earthly things like money or love. Maybe you're very successful with your relationships, you have some money, or you're capable of making money, but also you're a very spiritual person who's in touch with your purpose or your ancestors or even your spirit guides, and you pass that along to other people. We also see here that the swirls, like I was just showing you here, and on this card here, we have a swirl here. We also have the tail of the seahorse is a swirl. And usually the swirl, okay, if you want to talk, it has so many different meanings, but if we want to talk about spirituality, the swirl usually is a symbol of like consciousness, from the outer consciousness towards the inner consciousness. So outer consciousness would be like the earthly material things, like your ego and your outward perception, how people see you, and then the inner enlightenment, which would be like talking about your inner soul, your cosmic awareness. So kind of like where you fit in this, in the whole grand scheme of things. So not only, like I said, it's balanced. Not only are you well balanced on the outside, but you are well balanced on the inside. It's almost like you have some kind of private knowledge or wisdom that you've gained or attained somewhere, and you are going to impart that on others, and not necessarily by forcing it on them, but it's almost like a contagious thing that everybody wants to tap into as soon as they get next to you. It's an energy. It's an energy. Okay, the next oracle card is, I can go on about that all day. It's called shifting. Exactly. So I think you have shifted, or you will shift, and I feel like you've come to some, realizations in your life, maybe through hardship, or maybe through just speculation, just kind of keeping to yourself and looking within, maybe meditating, those types of things, and you've gained some kind of knowledge. You've gained quite a bit of wisdom. As we can see here, these are like wise looking characters that we have here. The Wizard of Awareness and the King of the Earth. So like wizard and king kind of make you think of the same thing. So the king is the person who will rule mostly the earthly realm, and the wizard is somebody who will rule more of the, I guess, spiritual type of realm, right? More of the unseen. So like magic and those types of things. So like I said, it goes back to balance, and people notice those things. Like you may not think these things about yourself, and you may think like this reading is making you sound more than what you really are, but it's not. It is there. It is there. You just either, one, haven't tapped into it, or two, you're too humble to realize that that's how others see you. Also, if we look at the Ace of Water, we can see the seahorse. The seahorse is usually a symbol of good luck, and it's also, believe it or not, a symbol of strength and power. Like a seahorse is this tiny little thing, and it looks kind of awkward sometimes in the water, but it is an actual symbol of power and strength. So this could be you, like I was just saying. You may think, oh, how could people think that I'm powerful? How could people think that I'm a symbol of strength because I'm small in stature, or whatever? It doesn't matter. You're unsuspecting. You're not thinking that you have this effect on people, but really and truly you do. And I think it's happened very gradually throughout your life. It's been a shift that has been so gradual and so subtle that you yourself don't even realize who you are. You don't even realize the power that you hold, which is probably a good thing because it hasn't gone to your head. The next card we have here is good luck, and it's a black cat. And this is the same thing as the Ace of Water. We were just talking about a seahorse. It represents good luck. And the thing I love about this symbol, is the cat is wearing a crown. Can you see it? The King of Earth is wearing his crown. And even the seahorse looks like he's wearing a crown, right? So you've reached that kind of pinnacle, or you're on your way to reaching that pinnacle. And the thing, like I was saying about the unsuspecting thing, we see a black cat and we think, what? Bad luck, right? But the thing about this is that, like I was saying to you earlier, you don't believe that you embody all of these traits that I'm breaking down for you right now because you don't look the part, or maybe you don't think you're smart enough, or you don't think you're worthy of this, but other people see it in you. So don't be misled in believing that, into believing that maybe other people have told you negative things about you before, but don't be misled, and don't fall for the okey doke. Okay, you are that person who has it together, or who is on your way to getting it together, and you will pass that on to the people who you come into contact with. You're more powerful than you know. This card here says financial health. And here we have that circle coming through. We have a rainbow, which symbolizes good luck and good fortune. We have the tree of life. The tree of life always makes me think of like the divine rhythm, starting small, from a little seed, growing to a huge big tree. And that with that whole cycle comes wisdom, right? Because it's like your wisdom is your intelligence gained through experience. And some of you, I get the feeling like you're like maybe an old soul, and you feel like you've lived a couple of lives. I feel like sometimes, people who feel like they're older than they really are. You don't necessarily have to look older, but you maybe feel older, like you've done this a couple of times, because there's just too much wisdom on this page, in this reading here, to not think that. I don't get the vibes that you're like a young soul in the least. So don't try and fight it. Embrace your purpose, embrace who you are, and just go with it. Just go with it. And once you are going with that flow, then you'll have to prosper. You don't fight against things. You just take it easy, gain your wisdom from what you see around you. You're very observant. You go with the flow, and then you'll be able to empower others. Wow. Go with the flow. All right, so there you go. Go with the flow. Let the boat take you wherever it's supposed to take you. You have a purpose. I think you have a divine purpose on this planet, and other people notice it. And I think if you keep going in that direction, wherever the water takes you, wherever life takes you, you could be influencing people on a grander scale, if that's something that you're interested in. But even if it's not, if you're just influencing the people that you come into contact with every day, that's just as important. Just as important. All right, so this card here says family. I was going to say that before. If some of you have children, you're going to be influencing them. You're going to be a great parent, or you are a great parent because you influence your children in major ways. We also see here this big, beautiful moon or sun. I think it looks like a moon, but it's another orb. You see, we have another orb. We have all these circles going on here, which symbolizes the wisdom, the completion. Like, I think this card should really be in the middle here. The King of Earth, because I feel like that's who you embody, and you don't even realize it. He looks abundant, no? But not in a pompous kind of way. He looks wealthy, he looks powerful, he looks confident, but not in a cocky type of off-putting way. And I think that's what you embody. I think that's your power. Because it's a fine balance. If you're very abundant, it's hard not to put people off with, a cocky or attitude of yourself being like too sure of yourself, or a know-it-all, or a show-off. It's a very fine balance of people admiring you and not feeling threatened by you or turned off by you when you're an abundant person. Okay, and then this card says, make a move. Make a move. There we have that black cat again. Make a move. So even if you yourself feel like you are not this person, but maybe there's some kind of spark within you that feels like you want to help others, this is your wake-up call. This is your call to your purpose, telling you that you need to embrace who you are and spread the word, spread your energy, pass it along to others who are in desperate need of it. Like I said, each one teach one. You teach other people what you know, the experience you've gained. Don't make it so the others, your children, your friends, your acquaintances, don't make it so they have to go through all the hardships that you've had to go through. You just teach them the wisdom that you've acquired over lifetimes, because I feel like this has been lifetimes. The swirls and the orbs make me feel like you've been here quite a few times. And the tree of life, it's just, nothing is new here. Everything has a very ancient type of thing about it. All right, this card says, respect. You value everyone's unique perspective on the path to love. So that's exactly it. You treat people like individuals. Like I said, you don't make people feel intimidated. You can be an intimidating person because you seem to have it all together. But when people get to know you, they see that you are actually very down to earth. And you are somebody that people want to know, because you take people as they come. Because you, in the same token that you're teaching them, you're also learning a lot from them as well through your interactions. And that's how you gain a lot of your wisdom. Meeting people, listening to people. Like I said before, you're very observant. You know, these two men here look like they're paying attention. They're paying attention. I don't mean paying attention to a book and reading a book and counting figures and numbers. They're paying attention to people and movement and habits and behaviors and watching how people do things. Like, you seem like somebody who could be interested in psychology and finding why people do the things they do and looking at how they, you know, what makes them tick, and you know, assessing people and those types of things. Wow. I think you are like a people expert, to be honest. And because of that, you know how to deal with people. And through that interaction, you empower them. So the last oracle card we have here says divinity. And what do we see in the middle of holy? In the middle here is a crown. Remember I showed you the crowns earlier? So the crown signifies some kind of, you're divine, you're spiritual, you're powerful, you're important. You are important to the people you have interactions with. And even it can be something as easy as, you know, giving a smile to somebody, a stranger on the street, and you make them feel like, you know, like they matter. You make them feel important. So what are they going to do? Feeling good? What are they going to do when they see somebody else? They're going to smile when they see somebody else. So you've paid it forward without you even realizing. Even just listening to somebody vent and lending some good advice or no advice, just being there for them to talk to, that gives people a sense of worth. And then you empower them with any wisdom that you've garnered over the years. And it helps them to aspire and to dream and to be as confident as you are, to spread the word. If this is not power, I don't know what is. But this reading here not only talks about power, but a very ancient, old, wise, and deep power. A self-confidence and a knowing, like a wisdom. And I think that is something amazing that you pass along to the people you come into contact with. So keep it up. I think you should take it further. Get into public speaking, get into writing, something where your works, your words, your ideas, your wisdom will be out there to share with others, because you can benefit a lot of people in many, many different ways. And not only will you, you know, help other people throughout that, you'll help yourself as well. You'll become even more abundant, financially speaking, because you have a gift. You have a serious gift. So this was your reading, group number 1. I hope something I said resonated with you. And if it didn't, please take heed. So maybe it will spark something in you to go out there and encourage people and empower people and uplift people with your spirit, with your energy. All the best to you. Until next time. Bye. Peace and blessings, everyone. This is your girl, Queen of Pentacles, and I'm back with another pick a card reading. As you all know, this reading is a message from Spirit as to how you empower others and how you can further empower others. Those of you who chose pile number 2, you chose this crystal here, which is the golden silk jade, I think it's called, or golden jade. Very pretty one, and it's supposed to be for good luck as well. So let's get started into this reading, shall we? We'll start with the tarot, as usual. All right. We have Messenger of Air. Number 1, otherwise known as the Messenger. The Knight of Cups. Knight of Swords. Sorry, Knight of Swords. We have the 8 of Fire, which is also the 8 of Wands. And we have the 2 of Water, which is also the 2 of Cups. All right. So first and foremost, right off the bat, I get a feeling of action. Action. Action Jackson. I think that's you. That's how you inspire people. You have the action, like you have this fire behind you. You could be a fire sign. I'm feeling like you are somebody who, like, first of all, what strikes me first and foremost is the orange in these cards here, which makes me think of like your sacral chakra or your sacral chakra, depending on how you want to say it. And that symbolizes like your creativity, your let's say your relationships, sexuality, those types of heated things, I would say. And not only are you someone who's about action and getting up and doing things, like you are a mover and a groover, but you're also somebody who goes hard in your relationships for the people you love. So along with that action comes that, you know, loving hard type of thing. As we see from the 2 of Water, we have these goldfish here. I think you're very good in relationships, and it doesn't always have to be a romantic relationship. Because we're dealing with this fire energy and stuff, I feel like it is, but it could also be a friendship, a very strong and solid friendship, and you go hard for the people you care about. You're not a wishy-washy friend. You're not a backstabbing friend. You are somebody who's quick to action. If they need help, you're there. If they need motivation, they come to you. If they're in a situation where they need to get the heck out of the situation, don't know what to do, they ask for your advice. So you are somebody who's about action, and you have a certain strength about you, but it's like an inner strength. And but you don't look like that. Like you don't come off as somebody who's intimidating because they're big and strong and aggressive. You seem like somebody who has this inner strength that can deter people. Any jokesters, any wishy-washy kind of mealy-mouthed people, they kind of stray away from you because you have this kind of inner strength that deters those types of people from coming towards you, and pulls the more real, genuine, authentic people towards you. You don't strike me as a somebody who falls into the category of a oh my gosh, what's the word called? Sorry, I had to remember the word I was trying to get out. Okay. You are not a procrastinator. You are somebody who is quick to action. You've got that fire in you that nothing can really quench. And you do, yes, you get down, you stumble, you meet up with all kinds of obstacles in your life. But the thing about you is you get up and you overcome them. And you do it with energy and vigor. And your relationships, you approach them in the same way. You are good in a relationship. Maybe sometimes people can't handle you because you're a lot in a relationship. And really and truly, the a lot in a relationship is not a negative thing. Being a lot in a relationship is a wonderful thing if you find somebody who is worthy of that and who can handle it. Some people will run away and be scared. Let them go. The people who can handle you and all of you, those are the people who will stick around, and you go hard for those people. So not only are you full of action and fire and vitality and vigor and all those wonderful things, you also go hard for the people you love. So when you go hard for those people and you try and inspire them, you get them up when they're feeling lazy, you get them up when they're feeling down, you help them get out of their ruts. That is how you empower people. You draw them in with your personality, with your way of living. People watch you and they get inspired by the way you do things, what you've accomplished in your life, and how you accomplish it. And once you rope them in, they won't leave you because you inspire them. You inspire them to be better. You inspire them to get off their butts. You inspire them to not get down in the dumps. You inspire them not to get caught in a rut and to overcome their obstacles. Okay, so let's move on to the oracle cards and see what else we can learn about you and how you empower others. The reason I chose this topic is because I wanted to create a channel that was based on empowerment. I'm not into petty things. I'm not into gossip. I'm not into any of those things. And I wanted to make a channel for people who maybe were feeling a little down or wanted to hear something good, some upliftment. And when they feel uplifted, then they can go and pass it on to somebody else. That's the reason I made this channel. And so that's why I chose this topic today, because I think it's very important to pay it forward. You may better yourself and meditate and, get in touch with who you are as a person. But if you just hoard all of that knowledge and wisdom and don't share it, then what good is it? We need to empower others through our spirit and through what we've learned. Save other people from going through the hardship that maybe you've gone through to get to where you are today. Save them from that hardship and that heartache and all of those things, and impart some of your wisdom on them so they don't have to go through those things. Okay, so here's the first oracle card. Change of mind. Alrighty. So I think you do inspire people with your advice. You inspire people to think of things differently. You give people a different perspective on life when they're feeling down on themselves maybe and thinking lowly of themselves. You help to pick them up. Also, if they, let's say your friend wanted to get a job, they didn't get a job, you'll show them that, hey, this door closed, okay, but that's really just an opportunity of another door opening for you. That's all that is. And you help people look at things differently to give them a change of mind and a change of heart. You are inspiring that way. For some reason, I feel like some of you might be athletes. I don't know why I said that, but very athletic. Or you exercise a lot or something along those lines. We have this card here, Celestial. I think I got that in a different reading. Celestial, meaning that this person that you are, this is a divine gift that you have. This is your purpose. So maybe some people will accuse you of being too much, and they'll say like, why are you so animated? Why are you so, extra? Why are you like, don't you ever settle down? Is there an off button on you? Don't let that discourage you. That's a lot of people's way of saying, man, I can't handle you, and I feel bad about myself because I can't handle you, so I'm going to try and make you feel low about yourself. Don't even sweat the small stuff. Let it be like water off a duck's back, and you keep being yourself. Don't ever dim for anybody else, because you are such a fiery energy that the people who are worthy of it will be drawn to you. Believe me. Okay, you have this card here. Acceptance. You are ready to release control of situations, of people, and lovingly embrace the rhythm of life. Like I told you, people who can't handle you, people who want to try and break you down and dim you and say you're too much, you're too loud, you're too hyper, you're too fiery, you have a hot temper, whatever. Whoever says that, it's now the time to release those people. Those are the ones you can't help. Those are the ones you can't inspire. Those are the ones you can't uplift. Not because it's impossible, it's because they don't want it. They're not ready. So you let those people go and you embrace the rhythm of life. Embrace those people who find their way to you, who are being pointed and guided and led to you through their spirit guides or through just the universe, the energies, things syncing up, synchronicities. Just embrace that and don't sweat the small stuff. Because being this type of person, though, a strong and fiery type of motivated person, people feel sometimes that they can heap and dump all kinds of crap on you, and you'll just keep taking and taking it because you're a strong person, and it can become a lot. So that's when you need to protect yourself. You also need to get rid of and purge a lot of the dead weight that's around you, and I'm talking about people and things for sure, but mostly people. Because you seem like a people person. This reading to me is making me think of people, and you are a people person, and you know how to treat people. And, anyone who comes into contact with you leaves feeling powerful, and that's how it should be. It reminds me of that candle, that story of the candle. Like you can light a candle with your another candle with your light, and it doesn't mean your light is being dimmed in any way, shape, or form. You've just, you know, illuminated somebody else. That's exactly who you are. We have this card here that says making a choice. And I think something in your life, your younger life, has motivated you to be this kind of person. Yes, it's within you. You are being divinely guided. But some people kind of shun their purpose, like the calling that they have. They overlook it. They brush it off. They ignore it. They deny it. But you, I think, made a conscious choice in your younger years, perhaps, to become this person or to embrace who you really and truly are. And I think as you get older, you're going to start to be more and more unapologetic about who you are, and realize, like what I just said, if you can't handle me, then you can, you know, there's the door, basically. If you find that I'm too much, then that's okay. You can go and find someone who's mediocre. You know, I think you've made that choice, consciously or otherwise, to be that person. So now as you get older and you have the wisdom behind you, and now that you know who you are, this is your wake-up call. Now you can consciously pass that along to other people and enrich their lives. And the thing about it too is I don't feel like when you deal with people, it's nothing like forced. It's not like you're walking up to people and saying, oh, you know, you should really get up and get moving. You're not trying to do that. You're just being yourself, and you're interacting with people the way you normally would, the way you naturally would. And people get inspired by you. And then eventually they end up asking for your advice. You're probably that confidant, you know, that friend that all your friends call to speak to. I mean, and that sounds great and everything, but it could also be very trying. It could also be very draining. But because you love your people, your tribe, your family, and you go so hard for them, it never drains you. It never depletes you. I'm talking about on a whole, it will never deplete you because of who you know you are and who you're supposed to be in this life. Look at this card, please. What does it say? Movement. Yes. So that is you. Movement. You are somebody who, like, what do they say? Moss will never grow on you, because you don't sit still. And I don't necessarily mean it in a literal sense, but you don't sit still long enough for anything to grow on you. You don't get stagnant. You're fresh. And I don't mean fresh in a new way. I mean fresh in a hot way, in a passionate way, in a fiery way, in an inspiring way. You know, that creative spark? That's what you have within you. You have a spark, and it's like contagious. I feel like people get captivated by you, and it's just through you being yourself. And half of the time, I believe for a few of you, that you don't even know when people are captivated by you. You just talk to them, interact with them, and then when you leave, they're all like, oh my goodness, that was the best conversation I've had all month. Or people become enamored with you sometimes. You may end up in that situation as well, where people actually kind of somewhat fall in love with you, or they crush on you because of the type of person that you are. Everybody wants to be around a confident and active type of person. And that's a natural thing. But eventually, like, they come out of it. But I think at the beginning, people get very hypnotized by that. You have a hypnotic kind of air to you, or energy to you. But it's nothing forced. I just believe that that's your energy, and it's like you're like a magnet to other people. All right, whenever I see this card, Gentle Gardener, well, first of all, we have the 2, just like we have the 2 of water, which means relationships and those types of things. Like I said, you go hard for the people you love, especially for your family. But on a different note, when I see this card, and it gives me chills sometimes when I see it because of this elder up here, it makes me think that this message here is coming from your ancestor. One of your ancestors who may be actually your guide, who is sending you these messages and who is encouraging you to keep going. She's watching you here. She is watching you. I feel like it's a feminine energy because you're so capable of that feminine side of you, of like tapping into that feminine side of you of loving very hard and very wholesomely. I feel like she's tapping into you and letting you know to keep going. Don't stop. Don't get discouraged. You're on the right path. You're doing the right thing. You're spreading love. You're teaching people, how to love themselves. You know, to keep moving. Don't get down. Life can throw some serious jabs at you, but you don't stop. You just dust yourself off and you keep on going. All right, the next oracle card. Guys, if you can hear little noises in the background, those are my children. Okay, so please don't get distracted by them. All right, so the next card we have here, hello, exactly, says passion. And like I say in every one of my videos, guys, I do not look at these cards before I do these readings. I feel like I would be cheating you. I want to get the same reaction that you do when I pull out these cards. I shuffle my cards, I meditate over them, I sage them, and I only choose the ones that fall out of the deck when I'm shuffling or jump out. So when you see these types of synchronicities, you know that, number one, I'm on the right path with the messages that are being brought forward today, but also that this is a validation that, yes, this is you, okay? There's no doubt about it. You are that passionate person. Look at the fire. Like, come on, look at the fire. You are the person, and not only are you passionate within yourself, but you spark other people to embrace that passion as well. You're like that spark. Okay. Oh. Travel. So I kind of feel like I get the sense that, anyway, that you are somebody who will inspire people, many people, actually, many people through your works. I feel like you can either maybe do something online and reach many different people, like different audiences, should I say, or you're actually going to travel to maybe inspire other people. I feel like you could turn this into a career, and a very successful one as well, because it would be easy for you to inspire other people to get up and get moving, because it's in your nature. It's not something you have to go to school for. It's who you are. That's interesting. What else? This one says, affirmation for positive change. So look at this. So we've got two boats here and people looking out onto the horizon there. Affirmation for positive change. So you are that affirmation. For a lot of people, you are that very affirmation. You let people know that they're on the right track, and you encourage people to change their lives for the better. I see you being it's funny because I see you being things like a motivational speaker, but then I also see you being things like someone like a personal trainer. So very different vibes, but still encouraging and inspiring others to become the best version of themselves. And the last oracle card that we have here today says, meditation for clarity. Okay, I love this card because, like I said to you earlier, because you are this person who seems to be like a fountain of energy and action and fire and movement and all those things, and you are the person who is the confidant for a lot of people. You inspire people. Your friends call you for advice. They call you when you're having a bad day. They call you to vent. Because you are that person, it can become tiring. It can become draining. It can drain your energy if you allow it to. So like I think I said before, I'm not quite sure, but I think you should do some form of grounding exercises. Tap into that grounding, meaning things that will bring you back to yourself, because you can get lost, you can get overwhelmed in loving other people and motivating other people that you may get run down, and eventually you may get so depleted that you feel like you have nothing else to offer others. So make sure that you pour back into yourself. When all is said and done, you pour back into yourself. And you do that through meditation. Sorry guys, I'm just looking at the rest of the cards here. You do that through meditation. You do that through, sage, burning sage. You know, sometimes it's good to just withdraw and go into hermit mode and kind of be on your own to kind of gather yourself and go back at it again. Like like I was saying, I think it's so funny because we're talking about action and fire and all of those things, but I still feel like you are you have a lot of feminine energy in you, because if you look on the at the reading here, it's only feminine energy. I won't say women because, like we know, the spirit is fluid. So it doesn't mean that you're a woman, doesn't mean that you're a man. It means the energy that you tap into. I see a lot of strength, you know, and I see a lot of fire. I see a lot of passion, but I get it from a feminine perspective, which is very wonderful because it's sometimes it's not something that's expected, right? It's not something that's expected of you, and maybe that's why you're so alluring to people. So definitely tap into things that will ground you. Crystals, stones, taking a deep bath, being around bodies of water, being in nature, music, sound, color therapy, you know, creating, all of those things will ground you so you don't get so depleted that you're of no use to anyone else. So group number 2, that was your reading. I hope it wasn't too long and I hope it made sense to a lot of you. Like I said, if it doesn't resonate with you today, keep it in your mind because it's probably in there somewhere. That spark is in there and you need to actually acknowledge it to bring it forth. Maybe talk to your friends. Maybe look around you and just observe and see, wait a second, I am the friend who everybody comes and vents to. I didn't even realize that because you're so used to doing it. Half of the time you don't realize who you are. But I wish you all the best, everyone. This was a really cool reading. I wish you all the best. I wish that you keep inspiring and empowering others through your energy and your fire. We need more like you in this world. It's very easy to get into a rut, especially in this day and age, with all the quarantining and staying home and sometimes isolating yourself. It's very difficult to stay active and keep motivated. But you are that motivation. You are that spark. You are that fire. So I wish you all the best. Thank you for tuning in with me. Until next time, everyone, peace and blessings. Ciao. Peace and blessings, everyone. This is your girl, Queen of Pentacles 1111. You already know that. But today's reading is going to be a message about empowering other people, how you empower them now and how you will continue to empower them in the future. You know that already too. So for those of you who chose pile number 3, you chose this beautiful smoky quartz. And let's get down to the reading. All right, let me start with these tarot cards first, and let's see what we got. Let me tell you what else, see what else I can tell you about yourself. All right, so we're trying to see how you empower people or how you can empower people, what you're capable of, what your knack is. On this channel, I created this channel just because I wanted to kind of spread the word and empower people and give people the sense that their voice matters. I also had to prove that to myself. You know, as a mom of 3 children and a wife, sometimes you can get lost in the everyday hustle, the everyday rat race. So I wanted to prove to myself that I can empower others with my voice and also be empowered by other people who I interact with on my channel. So let's keep paying it forward, shall we? All right, so first of all, we've got the 6 of water, also known as the 6 of cups. We got the Page of Earth, Page of Pentacles, and we've got the 3 of Earth, which is also the 3 of Pentacles. All right. Okay, let me look at these cards. All right, so I feel like there's levels to you. There's levels. It's not just a straightforward thing. I feel like you as a person really have a love of learning and like an innocence about you. You know, like a child loves to learn new things, and when you teach them something new that they didn't know, it's like mind-blowing. You can actually see their eyes light up. They have a curious nature about them. I feel like you have that kind of spirit within you. So you're always looking to learn new things and to experience new things in a real innocent kind of way, which is a beautiful thing. And in that process, when you're experiencing things and getting new information And I wouldn't say wisdom, because I feel like this is kind of um, a young energy we have going on here. The first group I dealt with, it was more of an older energy, more of a wise group, but I feel like this is a young energy we have here. So I feel like there's a wide-eyed kind of innocence about you, a curiosity that you have within you, and probably you've always had since you were younger, that makes you want to learn more. You want to learn more things. If you like words, you like learning words, definitions, grammar, symbology, like you take courses maybe sometimes that are for free just because you want to enrich yourself in that way, not because you're trying to prove something, not because you're trying to enlighten yourself, but because you have a curiosity about you that makes you want to know more and more and more and more. So it makes me feel like you could be a young soul. Um, that's the feeling I'm getting here. But that being said, now, because you have that love of learning, you also have a wealth of knowledge, right? And that wealth of knowledge, from what I see in this reading, has to do with a lot of the earthly pleasures of life. So, like things that you can experience with your five senses, namely money. So, when we think of pentacles, we think of coins, we think of money. So, I do believe that you could be somebody who will like learn about stocks and or stock options or something along those lines, something to do with like money, making money out of nothing, maybe investing. And you can learn that, inside out. I think you're very quick to pick up information as well. And I think that you take that information and you could parlay that into like your own little business of teaching people, coaching people how to make money off the stock market or trading stock options. I feel like even these are just ideas that are coming to me, guys. So it's just like messages that are coming through. I'm just saying whatever is coming through. Or even real estate. You can learn about, I feel like you're self-taught in a sense sometimes. Like you can get a textbook and you read the textbook, you put two and two together, and you know that subject. So it's like it's a talent that you have. It's something that not everybody has that ability to do that. And not only do you have that talent, but you can also pass it along to other people. But the beautiful part about that is that you can make a career out of it for yourself to become very lucrative and very successful and very abundant. And then again, now to pass it along now to other people, you teach them how they themselves can become abundant as well. So you're not one of those people who hoards information and wants to keep knowledge to themselves. You understand that knowledge is something to be shared and it's something to be passed along to other people. And that's the thing, like, that's where I get this kind of childlike innocence, because generally speaking, I mean, I've worked with children for quite a few years, I would say 20 years, and to see how children can be very generous sometimes, it's so heartwarming. Yes, I know they can be selfish, they don't want to share their toys and blah, but you'll find the ones who are very generous and would give the shirt off their back to somebody who was in need. They see homeless people on the street and they want to give to them whatever they can. It's the adults who walk by and not look at them twice. So I think you have that same kind of spirit, that same type of energy. You believe that the knowledge, like you are so hyped up and so happy about the knowledge that you've acquired with this new thing that you've learned, that you want to share it. You want to put people on to this thing that you've learned. And not only that, but you help them become self-sufficient and make a career for themselves, or, earn some money off of it, or to build stronger relationships with the people, they're married to or in long-term relationships with. But I truly believe for this reading, though, it is about making money. I feel like you are a moneymaker. I feel like you could be a life path 8. Some of you, I feel like, you inspire other people to be like that as well, like a self-starter, a manifester, somebody who can make something out of nothing, and from being like self-taught, You know, I don't think you need a lot of instruction and direction to become successful. I think you could be an entrepreneur as well, and you can pass on that entrepreneurial spirit or knowledge or the ideas to those who you meet. So you could also be some kind of coach to teach people how to turn their ideas into businesses. Okay, but let's go into the oracle cards here and see what we've got. So we've got this first card that says vibrational. Like I was saying, I feel like it's an energy that you have. It's your energy. You've got this young, spirited energy. Doesn't mean you act like a baby. Doesn't mean you're immature. Doesn't mean you look young for your age. It's a vibration. It's an energy that you put out. It's vibes that people get off of you, and they can see that you are curious. You have a curious nature. You want to know why. You want to know how. Sometimes people probably wonder, you know, what planet are you from? How come you don't know these things? But like I said, I feel like you're a relatively young soul. And so all of these new things that are going on in life, you want to learn more about. Even a lot of people who are, as they call it, the conspiracy theorists, can fall into this type of category as well, because they want to learn the ins and outs of why things happen. Even some psychologists, they want to learn why people do the things they do. Like, you want to know why things happen. You know how children always ask why, every time they ask why, and it gets annoying to us adults because sometimes we don't even know the answers to the whys. You're that type of person. But not only do you ask the why, you go and find the answer to the why. And then after that, now you usually go and pass it along to somebody else, or that's what you are capable of doing, or that's what you should be doing. Rejuvenation. Okay, so when we think of rejuvenation, what do we think of? Like getting young, right? We think of that young spirit, that young energy. When you rejuvenate something, you bring back that life into it, that kind of spark, and that's exactly what you do. You can take an old, tired subject and you bring that kind of curious, wonderful delight into it, and you teach others to appreciate the love of learning as well. The love of information, you know, finding out answers, digging a little deeper, because it's fun and it's enjoyable. Not because it's hard work, not because, you know, you've been forced to learn this information. You have to learn it for school. It's because it's actually what you want to do. It's within you. Okay. This card says joy. You delight in the love of Okay, guys, I'm going to say it again. I'm just letting you all know that I don't look at these oracle cards or the tarot cards before I record these videos. I meditate over my cards and I sage them while I'm shuffling them, and I only take the cards that jump out, only the single cards that jump out of my deck when I'm shuffling them or fall out. So when you see something that actually syncs up with the rest of the reading, you know that, number one, I'm on the right track with the message I'm trying to give to you, but also it's more of a validation of the other messages. So this one says joy. You delight in the love of life and bring a spirit of fun to all that you do. Like I was just saying, that spirit of fun, the love of learning. And why? Not because you have to, but because you want to. You delight in learning new things, trying new things, savoring new things. You could be somebody who's like a food tester, you know, that kind of thing, a taste tester. You ever seen on those cooking shows where you have the judges who try different things, or those hosts who go to different restaurants and try different meals? You learn different things. You learn different ways of preparing things, preparing meals. You know, why? Not because you have to, but because you enjoy it. You have a love of food. You could be a foodie and you can be a chef and you can become a teacher on how to cook. You know what I mean? Like those types of things. It's a love of learning that you have that you can parlay into a business because it's easy for you. Like if you love like learning something, if you love cooking, of course, if you turn it into a business, that's a natural succession, right? And to you, it wouldn't even be work because it's something that you love. If you love children and you open up a daycare, and teach other people how to mind children or become a child care provider, that's not work to you, because that's a passion. That's what you love. And you have a joy. You have a joy of learning and passing on the knowledge to others to empower them. Here we have this card here that says, rock bottom. And yes, I know that sounds like a negative thing, but to me, I don't think it is. I think for you, rock bottom signifies that you start from the ground up. You start from the ground up. You like to dive deep. I think you like to dive deep. Sometimes maybe you can, research a subject until it just gets, a little bit crazy sometimes, but you do that because you work your way from the bottom up. Like I said, it's because you want to know, not because you have to. And that's when you'll do a better job. That's when you'll dive deeper. That's when you'll be more successful. And you'll learn something in a more holistic way, is when you start from the bottom and work your way up, right? Because if you want to teach people a subject, you can't teach them only knowing things from grade 6. You got to know the information from kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2. You know what I mean? You can't teach somebody starting from this level. You got to teach them from down here. And the only way you can teach them from the basics, is if you yourself know the basics. So you dive deep. You definitely dive deep. And you're very thorough. All right. This card says, come together. Did I say earlier? Yes, I did. I said earlier, I think you could be a life path 8. I definitely think you are a life path 8. And we see here, come together. The 3 of Pentacles here also symbolizes teamwork and collaboration, those types of things. So not only do you, I feel like you're somebody who could start a business with somebody and bring somebody into the loop. So like if you're trading stock options or something like that, you can get a partner who will do it. It could be even like your spouse. But I feel like you work well with people as well. In this card, which is a 6 of water, which in the traditional deck, it's a 6 of cups, you see a little boy giving a flower to another little girl. So it's like, working together, passing along the knowledge kind of thing, blessing somebody in a nice, innocent way to better them. I think that's what you definitely are about. I believe you're about learning and information and joy, and kind of learning in a wonderful way, a passionate way. Okay, this one talks about, there we go, a balancing act. So, like I said, even though, here we go, here comes the downer side of it, right? Even though this is just a little caution here to you, even though you love to spread knowledge and you love to put people on to what you've learned, and you are a manifester there, we see that number 11, even though you can manifest and you can actually teach people how to manifest as well, you need to be mindful of who it is you're sharing your information with. Not everybody is ready to receive it, and not everybody will take that and empower others. Some people will take it, and as we all know, there's always some negative Nelly out there, some Debbie Downer who will take something good and turn it into a negative. So you need to be mindful, you need to be discerning, because even though you do have that wonderful childlike energy to you, it can be used against you. It can be mishandled, and it could be used in a negative way. So it's a fine balancing act. So even though you are enthusiastic and passionate about what you're learning and the successes that can come to you from the information you're learning, you need to just be mindful of who it is you're sharing all of your ideas with. The next card says, meditation to dig deep. That's what I said before. You dig deep. You definitely dig deep, and I think that's something that will help you dig even deeper. Clearly, you can see they even have the crystals here. To me, that almost looks like a clear quartz crystal with some amethyst hanging around there. You dig deep, and that's good. You dig deep for knowledge, and that's the way you should do it. But maybe they're encouraging you now, because you deal with a lot of the earthly information. You deal with a lot of money. We see a lot of earth here. Maybe you can also start to dig deep on more of a spiritual level. Maybe meditation is something that will take you to that, elevate you even further, so you can become more of a more whole, you could approach things in a more holistic sense. But even this can go back, this meditation card can go back to this balancing act. Like I said, to kind of ground yourself, don't get lost, and be discerning, figure out what kind of energies you're dealing with, tap into that before you start sharing your wealth of knowledge with people as freely as you do. Meditate, and you can get answers from your guides, even from your higher self, to kind of give you the power to discern who is with you and who is teaming up with you, who's collaborating with you for the right reasons. If it's somebody who's doing it for selfish reasons, then you don't want to share that knowledge as freely. So just be mindful of that. Meditation is a good thing for you. You are a manifester, so meditation goes hand in hand with manifesting. Then you have here this card that says willpower. There you go. Manifesting, willpower, that's you. You just have the will, you have the power, you have the energy, you have the intelligence. You are a very intelligent person to make something out of nothing and to see it through to the end. You're not somebody who starts something and doesn't finish it. Because you want to know more, you will keep going. You can learn the ins and outs of a topic and enjoy doing it and see it through until the end, and that's a wonderful thing. You're very consistent. Look at this card. It says finding. So that's you. Look at the joy on her face. So finding, that is exactly what I think about you. You look for things, like you search, you look, you research, you are like a little detective who's trying to figure out why this happens. If something bad happens with your car, you're not just going to take it to a mechanic and hand it over to him and let him fix it. You yourself will research why this is happening to your car. You may not be able to fix it yourself, but you'll take it to the mechanic and you'll probably already know what's going on with it before he even tells you, because you've researched the ins and outs of what's going on with your car. And you take joy in that. You definitely take joy. You're a researcher. Here we have this card that says dreams. That also goes back to balancing act and being a manifester. Also goes back to meditation and digging deep. Your dreams. Pay attention to your dreams. You could be getting inspired from your spirit guides or your ancestors. Just putting you on to new information because you love information. Like I said, maybe this is time for you to get in touch with your more spiritual side of things, not so much the earthly realm, maybe to kind of tap into the more spiritual side of things. Pay attention to your dreams, keep a dream journal. Maybe your guides, I think you have more than one as well. I think they're trying to get in touch with you to let you tap into more of a spiritual side of yourself. To create more balance, because like we have this card here that says balancing act. And the last card we have here is the sun and the stars. Like whenever I see this, when I see this card, you know what it reminds me of? There's nothing new under the sun. So that reminds me of like information. The information is there to be learned. There's nothing new under the sun, and you want to learn every single thing that you can get your hands on. The sun and the stars reminds me of dreams. It reminds me of manifesting. You encourage people to become manifestors. You encourage people to go out there and grab it, to make money, to learn, to better themselves on an intellectual side of things. On the intellectual side of things, that's how you encourage people. That's how you empower people. You make people understand that yes, we all are intelligent. And we all can find the answer. This is the age of information. We walk around with a mini computer in our pockets all day, every day. There's nothing you shouldn't know. So I feel like you inspire people to get in touch with their wildest dreams, like anything that they wanted to know about. Yes, nothing is locked off to you anymore. You can learn whatever it is you have to learn or whatever it is you want to learn. Find joy in higher learning. You're also teaching people to collaborate, and you're very good at working with people to inspire them to do better. and to also so they can pay it forward to other people as well and inspire them to learn as much as they can and to give back. You are a wealth of knowledge. You have a beautiful, joyful innocence about you. But the flip side about that is that you use that to your advantage. You make money, you're very resourceful, and you also are very selfless because you pass that knowledge along to the people who are closest to you and the people who are in need of your help. You're a very capable person. The only suggestion that I'm thinking you're getting now is that your spirits want you to become more spiritually inclined now. And that can add to you. That can add to you. Because then you can delve into learning more about the spiritual sciences and metaphysics to reach more people in that way. Wow. Okay, so that was a lot of talking. Thank you, Group 3, for sticking with me. I hope something I said resonated with you today. That was your reading. All the best to you. Until next time, take care. Bye.